Well, in addition to mouse input, we can obviously accept input from the keyboard in our programs, which we'll do fairly frequently in game situations. And so one of the more basic ways we can do this is with what's called the keyPressed variable. And though there are similar things in full Java, the way we use them in like those situations is a little different. This is great, but it is processing specific, and I want to be clear on that. That this is part of the processing layer that's laid on top of Java. But we will utilize it this trimester and next to make things happen using keyboard input. And so we can say if keyPressed is a Boolean. So if a key is pressed, we can do one thing. And then we can say else, we do another thing. So, one of the easier things you can do is just change the color of the background to like, I don't even know what color this will be. 20, 80, 200. If a key is pressed, or if a key is not pressed, else, we'll just set it to black. And let's run this program and see what happens. Alright, so it's black. I'm going to hit the spacebar right now. And it turns to that shade of blue. I'm going to release it, and there it goes. And so this is a variable that's constantly being updated 60 times per second in processing that monitors, part of the background of processing knows how to monitor whether or not any key is pressed. Well, that's good if we just want to be able to monitor a general situation, but if you want to be able to take more specific input, we have to use a different variable, and that is called the key variable. And the key variable is just key, but it is not a Boolean. So this is a Boolean, but this is a character variable. So it is of type char, which just is like a string, but it just contains one character. So it monitors which key has been pressed. So if we want to, let's say we'll use this to draw a character to the screen. So we'll set the text size, this is again a processing specific thing, to say 120 point font. And to write text to the screen, processing again, this is a processing specific thing that will write to the screen at the location that we specify. So we'll say width divided by 2, that's the x coordinate, and width or height divided by 2, that's the y coordinate. So it will display whatever character is contained in the variable key at this location 60 times per second. So if we run this program, if we press a key, once the program loads, it'll display that text. Obviously, it is still monitoring if any key is pressed. So I'm holding down S right now. I'm releasing S right now. And because key just maintains the kind of last key that was pressed, it still shows S. If I press D, it flashes blue when I press it. It still is D over a black background when I release it. And so, that's interesting. It is also interesting to note that the center of the screen is kind of right here. So the processing text function, the x and y coordinate is at the kind of the line that goes under letters at the bottom left side of that. So just for reference, that's kind of how the x and the y coordinate work. And I think that's plenty for this video. Just play around with it and see what you can do. You can combine this with the previous videos to create a drawing situation where you press the mouse to locate where you want to draw a letter, you press the letter to draw, and it'll stay on the screen if you do certain things. So play around with this and try and make a basic drawing program that incorporates the keyboard somehow.